Memory decline, a hallmark of the aging process, is more than just forgetting a familiar name or confusing past events. It's a profound journey that touches the essence of who we are, forcing us to confront deep questions. Who am I when I can no longer recall the important pieces of my life? Is forgetfulness truly the end? Or does it mark the beginning of a new chapter filled with challenges and meaning? In today's video, we'll explore a fresh perspective on memory loss in older adults, a topic that may seem familiar but holds surprising depth. This journey will uncover how memory affects not only daily life, but also the psychology and spirit of those experiencing it. If you're intrigued by this meaningful exploration, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss more valuable insights. Let's dive in. 1. The meaning of memory to humans. Memory is an indispensable part of human nature. It serves as a repository for moments, lessons, and relationships that have shaped our lives. For the elderly, memory is not just a cognitive function, it's a bridge between the past and present, between the individual and the surrounding world. When memory declines, it affects not only the ability to recall events, but also profoundly impacts how we see ourselves and our place in life. Memory and personal identity. Each person's identity is built from their unique experiences and memories. What we remember and how we remember not only reflect who we once were, but also shape us in the present. As an elderly person begins to forget details about their life, from the name of a childhood friend to youthful adventures, this loss can feel like losing a part of themselves. Without memories, are we still ourselves? This poses a deep philosophical question about the connection between memory and self. Imagine an elderly woman who was once a loving mother and a passionate artist. Stories about her family and the paintings she created are vital parts of her identity. But as her memory fades, she no longer remembers her children's names, and her artworks no longer bring pride. To others, she remains a talented artist. But for her, everything feels increasingly unfamiliar, and her identity blurs with the passing years. Memory as a bridge between past and present. Memory acts as a bridge connecting past experiences to present life. It allows us to revisit beautiful moments, learn from past challenges, and maintain cherished relationships. For the elderly, recalling past events like a wedding day, family vacations, or playful moments with grandchildren not only helps sustain joy, but also provides comfort and a sense of connection to the surrounding life. However, as memory fades, this bridge becomes fragile, making it easy for the elderly to feel lost in their own lives. Memory decline in the elderly isn't just about losing bits of memory. It's also about changing how they perceive themselves and their lives. Memory helps us understand who we are, where we come from, and what truly matters in life. Facing memory decline involves grasping the real significance of memories, a journey of deep understanding about oneself and accepting the continual transformations of life. 2. Embracing change and living in the present. Memory decline is not just a physical challenge, but also presents a profound spiritual lesson for the elderly. Accepting change and learning to live in the present. As memories begin to fade, many older adults feel a loss of control and grow anxious about the future. However, viewed positively, memory loss can be an opportunity to learn to live in harmony with life's impermanence, acceptance, and inner peace. In Western philosophy, embracing change is often seen as a journey toward peace. The deterioration of memory forces the elderly to face the reality that nothing is eternal, not even their own memories. Initially, this may induce fear, but learning to accept this can lead to tranquility in letting go of what is beyond one's control. This acceptance is not a surrender to illness, but an awakening to impermanence and finding ways to overcome it to achieve inner peace. John, who once took great pride in his intellect, spent over 40 years as a scientist studying natural ecosystems. His days in the lab and his extensive research across countries fueled his endless passion. His colleagues and friends admired his sharpness, remarkable memory, and relentless dedication to science. However, at 78, John began noticing changes in his memory. Initially, he forgot minor details, chemical formula, or the names of certain plants he once knew well. As these lapses worsened, he began forgetting daily tasks, like whether he had eaten breakfast or where he placed his glasses. These incidents made him feel as though he was losing himself. He became irritable, often angry at his inability to remember simple things, and felt embarrassed by his failures to perform tasks that once took mere seconds. His wife, Susan, was always there to comfort him and encourage him to find joy in different activities, such as walking in the park, reading poetry, or listening to classical music, things he rarely had time for before. Initially, John was reluctant to admit that his memory was declining. He tried to jot down everything in a notebook, from to-do lists to chemical formulas, only to become frustrated when he couldn't find the notebook when needed. Gradually, with Susan's encouragement, John learned to let go. He accepted that he could not retain all his knowledge and memories as before. Instead, he focused on enjoying the small things, like an afternoon stroll in the park, feeling the cool breeze, sitting by the lake, and chatting with his wife. He began to enjoy observing nature, watching the trees, listening to birds sing, things he seldom noticed before because he was absorbed in his research. Over time, John found peace in slowing down. No longer obsessed with remembering everything, he realized that sometimes forgetfulness could be an opportunity to experience life more simply and purely, living in the present and finding simple joys. As memory fades, the past becomes distant and the future uncertain, pushing the elderly closer to the present moment. While many may view forgetfulness as a loss, it can be seen as a way for the elderly to experience life in its simplicity and freshness. Instead of living in past memories or worrying about the future, they can find joy in mundane moments, smelling flowers, listening to birds, or feeling the warmth of the sun on their skin. Mary, an 85-year-old former enthusiastic elementary school teacher, loved her job, and the memories of smiling children in her classroom were her greatest motivation. Every day, she taught her students to read and write and instilled in them a love for knowledge and curiosity about the world. However, as age took its toll, Mary began to notice her failing memory. Sometimes she couldn't recall the names of former students or remember the songs she used to teach them. At social gatherings, when friends recounted old stories, she often felt out of place because she couldn't join in the conversations. This made Mary feel sad and isolated. She no longer wanted to go out or engage in activities she once loved. But one day, sitting by the window looking at the small garden in front of her house, Mary began to appreciate the beauty of simple things around her. She decided to try gardening, a hobby she had never pursued before. Initially, caring for the garden felt strange, but gradually, she found satisfaction in planting seeds, watering plants, and waiting for the first flowers to bloom. Each morning, Mary spent time watering the plants, weeding, and watching the garden grow day by day. The vibrant flowers symbolized new hope and vitality in her soul. Not only the garden, but Mary also found joy in chatting with neighbors daily. They would stand by the fence, talk about the weather, daily life, and share happy moments. For her, these stories didn't need to be remembered. They were simply the joy of connection. Mary's life gained new meaning, not based on distant memories, but on living fully in the present moment. She learned to appreciate her presence in each second, embrace change, and find happiness in the smallest details. The blooming flowers in the garden and friendly conversations became her vivid memories, not to be held onto forever, but to be fully experienced in the present. Memory decline can be seen as a reminder to return to the present. Live fully in each moment, and not let the past or future steal today's joy. For the elderly, this change can be a pivotal step in discovering new meanings in life, learning to love and care for themselves with the serenity and peace that only the present can offer. 3. Forgetting as part of the natural law. Forgetting is an inevitable part of the endless cycle of life. From birth through maturity and into old age, humans undergo physical and mental changes. Like any other bodily function, our memory inevitably deteriorates over time. From a philosophical perspective, forgetting is not a misfortune or a complete loss, but can be seen as a part of the natural law, a necessary transformation of life. The law of change and transformation. In Western philosophy, change is an inevitable aspect of life. Nothing lasts forever. Everything flows and transforms. Our memory is no different. It is like a river, constantly moving and changing over time. Just as a river never passes the same point twice, human memory is also never static. Memories fade, blur, or evolve over the years. Forgetting can be likened to the winter of life. If spring represents blooming and birth, summer the peak of life, and autumn the time of harvest, then winter is a period of closure, quiet and stillness. As memory fades, it is not an end, but a natural cycle of nature, where outdated matters are set aside, paving the way for change and transformation. Sometimes, forgetting is not about loss, but about how life helps us let go of what is no longer necessary, to focus on what is truly important in the present. Imagine a man named Edward, once a skilled carpenter. In his youth, he devoted himself to crafting beautiful wooden items, chairs, bookcases, and statues. Each piece was a testament to his care and precision. However, as old age arrived and his memory began to wane, Edward could no longer recall the details of how these items were made. He forgot the techniques of carving and woodworking. Instead of mourning, he learned to accept that his creations, like his life, had their season. He found comfort in simply admiring the works he had made, accepting that they too are part of a distant past. Forgetting and liberation from the past. Sometimes, forgetting serves as a liberation from the past. In life, not all memories are joyful or positive. There are painful memories, mistakes, losses that people try to forget. As old age sets in and memory fades, it can naturally relieve us of past burdens, lightening our spirits. It is like letting a leaf float down the river, gently drifting away and dissolving into the water. This liberation does not mean denying the past, but accepting that what has happened no longer affects us in the present. For the elderly, fading memory can be seen as a way to experience life without the worries or sorrows of bygone days. This allows them to live more comfortably and peacefully, with a focus solely on the present moment. Eleanor, an elderly woman, had endured significant losses in her life. Her beloved husband died young, and her only son tragically died in an accident. These painful memories haunted her for years. But as her memories started to fade, those painful memories began to blur, and she thought less about them. Eleanor found solace in caring for her cherished cats, sitting in the warm afternoon sun and listening to gentle classical music. She no longer let the past dominate her mind, but enjoyed the peace of the present, a release from old pains. The philosophical meaning of forgetting as a natural part. Philosophically, forgetting is not a total loss, but part of the maturation and acceptance process. Forgetting can be seen as a natural process that helps cleanse the mind, remove unnecessary details, and learn to live more simply, focusing on the most essential and valuable aspects. Viewing forgetting in this way, we can understand that memory decline is not something to fear or a tragedy. It is simply a part of life's journey, where things come and go. What is important remains in the soul, and other things are let go so that one can live a lighter, more peaceful life. Forgetting, therefore, is a return to the essence of existence, where everything is in a state of change, where the burdens of the past gradually fade to make room for the simplicity and peace of the present. In this letting go, the elderly can find new acceptance and joy, free from the pain of past memories, living fully in the vibrant and meaningful moments of the present. For the experience of existence as memory fades. Robert is 82 years old. and his life has been a collection of memorable experiences. He was once a skilled shipbuilder in a New England coastal town. The boats he built have braved many storms and always brought their owners back safely. Whenever he walked along the beach, he would stop to admire the sailboats and share with his granddaughter the passion for the craftsmanship he devoted his life to. However, as he entered the twilight years, the memories he cherished gradually began to fade. His family realized that Robert no longer remembered the boats he had built, and sometimes he didn't even know where he was. The initial discovery of memory decline. Initially, his daughter, Lisa, thought her father's forgetfulness was just a sign of old age. Robert often repeated questions like, "Did you bring the package?" even though he had just received it from his daughter moments before. He also frequently forgot where he placed his keys, his glasses, or whether he had eaten lunch. However, one day, while walking in the park, Robert couldn't find his way home despite living in the area for 40 years. After searching everywhere, Lisa finally found him standing confused at a park corner, staring at the familiar paths as if they were strange to him. How the family began to care for Robert. Following this incident, the family realized that this was not just a typical symptom of aging, but a serious sign of memory decline. Lisa, together with her husband and children, decided they needed to change their approach to better care for Robert. Despite her busy schedule, Lisa made time to read materials and attend workshops on caring for the elderly with memory loss. Establishing a daily routine. One of the first things the family did was establish a daily routine for Robert. Lisa realized that familiarity helped him feel safer and less anxious. Every morning, he would wake up at the same time, and Lisa would help prepare his breakfast. His favorite simple meals, toast with butter, a warm glass of milk, and a boiled egg, were always ready on the table. After breakfast, Lisa and Robert would walk around the small garden behind their house. Robert seemed to enjoy the peace of the garden, where flowers bloomed brightly in the sun and small birds often perched on the wooden fence. He no longer remembered the names of the flowers, but their presence made him feel at ease. Breaking down daily tasks. The family noticed that seemingly simple tasks like dressing or brushing teeth could be challenging for Robert. Therefore, they broke down activities into specific steps and supported him in doing one thing at a time. Instead of just telling him to change clothes, Lisa would help select each item, lay them out in order on the bed: shirt, trousers, socks, and assist him in dressing piece by piece. Recalling memories through emotional connections. Lisa also learned to evoke memories for Robert through emotions, music, and images. One of his favorite activities was looking through family photo albums. Lisa would sit with him on the couch, turn the pages of the album, and recount joyful stories from the past, family beach trips, Christmas decorations, or the days he built his first boat. Robert might not remember these events exactly, but his face would light up with a smile, as if the old memories were still faintly present. Another method Lisa used was music. Robert had always loved classic songs from the 1960s. Lisa would play familiar tunes when they sat together, listening to the melodies of old songs. Robert sometimes hummed along, and once, Lisa even caught him tapping his foot to the music. Music acted as a gateway, bringing him back to joyful moments from the past, if only for a moment. Facing difficult moments. Not every day was easy. There were days when Robert was confused, angry, and couldn't understand why he couldn't remember anything. Sometimes he woke up in the middle of the night and panicked, not knowing where he was. During these moments, Lisa had to be very patient, gently reassuring him and leading him back to bed, holding his hand until he calmed down and fell back asleep. Lisa's children also played a significant role. They frequently visited and brought with them a cheerful, positive energy. They would sit with him, share stories about school, football matches, and although Robert didn't fully comprehend, he would smile, feeling the love and closeness of his family. Transformation within the family. Caring for Robert brought many changes not only for him, but also for the entire family. Although Robert's memories were no longer clear, the care and love the family showed him deepened. They learned patience, found joy in small moments, and cherished every day spent with him. Although Robert no longer remembered his past clearly, he still felt the love from his family. He didn't need to remember everyone's names. But when his grandchildren visited, his face would light up with a radiant smile. Warm hugs, family meals, moments together watching flowers, listening to music, all became sources of comfort and happiness for him in his later years. 5. Memory and spirituality. Memory decline in the elderly is not only a physical deterioration, but also affects their mental and spiritual well-being. As memories fade, people often turn to deeper values for consolation, hope, and peace. Spirituality, religion, and beliefs about life beyond the physical realm can provide stability and a sense of connection. Even as memory slips away, the role of religion and faith in memory decline. For many elderly people, religion and faith have been part of their lives since youth. As memory fades, these spiritual values become a gateway to maintaining a connection with themselves and the world. Even if they no longer remember specific events or are unable to perform complex rituals, praying, singing hymns, or simply sitting in silence can bring profound peace. Memory decline often makes individuals feel lost, but religion offers comfort that they are not alone, that a divine presence, an invisible force, is watching over and guiding them. Faith helps the elderly accept memory changes more calmly, understanding that forgetting is also a part of nature's law, a transformation they need to embrace with peace in their hearts. Samuel, a former teacher and faithful member of his local church, now finds peace sitting in the church pews during services, listening to hymns. Even if he can't remember the words, he feels enveloped by a sense of well-being, as if each note is a soothing prayer for his mind. The presence of spirituality and inner peace. As memory declines, elderly individuals often turn to spiritual activities such as prayer, meditation, or contemplation. These activities don't require cognitive complexity or memory, but only an open heart and a willingness to accept inner peace. Meditation can help the elderly become aware of each breath, each heartbeat, a moment when they don't need to remember the past, but can fully experience the present. Prayer brings a feeling of connection to the divine, helping them sense that everything has a purpose. And memory decline is not a painful loss, but part of a journey toward deeper peace. Taking time each day for reflection or connecting with faith also helps the elderly maintain mental balance, where they're not overwhelmed by confusion or worry about what they have lost. Alice, a dedicated former nurse, always believed in the healing power of love and forgiveness. As her memory began to fade, she no longer remembered the patients she cared for or significant events in her life. However, each night before sleep, she maintained her routine of prayer. She might not remember the long prayers as before, but each simple prayer like "Please watch over me" or "Thank you for the peace" helped her connect with a deeper sense of peace and comfort in her soul. Philosophy on existence beyond memory. A profound philosophical question arises. Do we still exist when memories fade? For the elderly, as memory declines, they often ponder the meaning of life without memories. For many, existence is not solely defined by memory or experiences, but by the soul and values carried within. A person may lose memories, but spirituality and faith remain, continuing to guide them on their quest for meaning and peace. In many religions and spiritual philosophies, there is a belief that the soul never dies. Even if memories fade, the presence of the soul, love, and compassion are values that do not depend on memory, but exist as a deep part of being human. When memory declines, relying on spiritual beliefs provides a sense that even if many memories are lost, they still retain themselves, their love, and their connections with others. Frank, a devout Jew, continues to attend synagogue every Saturday, sitting quietly during prayers. Although he can no longer remember all the rituals and prayers, he feels the presence of God and the connection with the community around him. During those moments, he doesn't need to remember the past or plan for the future, but can listen, feel, and live in the spiritual peace of the moment. Memory, Forgiveness and letting go. Memory decline sometimes brings a natural letting go. As memories blur, the elderly can more easily forgive themselves and others for past wrongs. They no longer dwell on old grievances or mistakes. This brings a lightness of spirit and frees them from pain or obsessions from the past. In spirituality, forgiveness and letting go are valuable, helping individuals live a more peaceful and serene life. Memory decline is no longer seen as a loss, but as a path to freeing themselves from unnecessary burdens. Focusing on love and compassion. Memory and spirituality are closely linked as both seek existence and peace in life. As memory fades, spirituality becomes a source of comfort, helping the elderly find new peace and meaning in life. Faith, prayer, and living fully in the present moment help them navigate the challenges of memory decline, finding a path to deep tranquility and harmony in the soul. Reflecting on the entire journey of memory and its decline in old age, we realize that even if memory fades or disappears, the value of life remains. Far beyond what can be remembered, the fragments of memory, though disjointed, are still beautiful parts of a larger picture of existence and love. Memory decline is not an ending but a new chapter where simple habits, connections with loved ones, and deep faith and spirituality become precious. For the elderly, forgetting can be an opportunity to let go, find peace, and live fully in the present. And in this simplicity, their existence still shines with love, connection, and timeless values. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found today's content helpful or meaningful, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback is not only important to us, but could also inspire others. Don't forget to hit subscribe to join us for more videos in the future. Thank you, and see you next time.